All right. Since I'm live, if you guys can hear me, please let me know and we'll get this started. Sorry for being late, but I think that's the norm these days. We got 100 people waiting. Do appreciate you all being here on your Sunday morning. I should probably get the model out so I can reference it when you guys talk to me, but looking forward to the race today. I don't really like watching road courses, but for DFS purposes, they have been pretty good to me, at least in recent memory. I mean, that could always change for sure, but I am looking forward to the race today. I like that there's no stage cautions. At least should remove some randomness from this race, and guys selling out for stage points and going for the win, things like that. So looking forward to the race today. Got loud and clear from you guys. Awesome. Guess I'll scroll up here and yeah, we will get this started. If you're just now getting here, if you can leave a like on the stream, do appreciate that. And yeah, let's get this started. So what's up, Jay Smokes? Says good luck today, my guy. Are you leaning towards stacking the front or getting some place differential? I love Reddick, but he's going to be extremely popular. Maybe fade. I hate fading fast cars. Yeah, I think what Reddick today is, well, yes, he will be popular and starting near the front. It can always be a bit scary for road courses. I'm not fading fast cars, and Reddick is going to be in a fast car today, so I will not be fading Reddick. I will have a lot of Reddick. I think he is cash game viable, tournament viable, whatever it may be. Now, you do have to be careful with the ownership. There are certainly some pivots to be had, but just looking at everything we've seen this weekend, he has a really good car, and I don't want to fade good cars. What's up, Spreads? Just patiently waiting. Nice of my wrench man to be here. So what's up, Rick? Says, what's up, CP? Thanks for your time. It means a lot. Thank you for your time. You don't have to be here, but I do appreciate you spending your Sunday morning with me. Says, let's go Chastain. I'm a big fan of him. Let's get this thing started. Yeah, Chastain should be in line for a good race today, obviously. Well, he did at COTA last year, and it looks like he's got another fast car. It wasn't that great in qualifying, P12, but third in the 1 lap, second in the 5 lap, so hard not to like Chastain today. I mean, a lot of my lineups are starting with Chastain or Kyle Larson. And don't forget about Kyle Busch, too. He's going to be more than likely the lowest owned of the 10K bunch. Got a donut from a man, Jorge, here. Do always appreciate that. Says, thanks for all the info and tips. No problem at all. How many racers starting in the first 10 positions good to have in a lineup? Do you have any group suggested? I mean, I wouldn't use all 6 of my drivers in the top 10. I'm not sure if that's possible. No, it should be possible. There's a couple of cheap guys up there, but I mean, this could be a race where a lot of the fast guys are already up front, and that might not change too much. Yes, there is some place differential, but I mean, you could definitely have a few starting inside the top 10. Like, just for example, looking at it, you could roster Reddick. He's starting 2nd. You could have Daniel Suarez starting 5th. And then you could throw in... No, I'm just trying to think of like a viable-looking lineup. I guess 2 is probably where most of mine would be. You could maybe squeeze in 3 if you're trying to get weird with like a Jones or Gregson. But I think 2 in the top 10 isn't bad for a build, because you do have some decent place differential today. Now, I'm not purely chasing place differential. I think some of these place differential guys are in good spots, but some of them I think might be a bit overowned today. But yeah, I think 2 is a solid number. Just trying to think of roster construction, because I want to play Byron, Reddick, Cindric all together in one. Like, yeah, they're fast, but you really have very limited room for error there. What's up, Grayson, also known as Potato? Says, good morning, Chris. I told Jules to turn the heat up in your house while you're on live and you can't be a thermostat merchant. It just got deleted as I was speaking. But that's a Discord joke. It says, happy race day and go Larson. I'm all for Larson today. I definitely think he's going to be one of the cars to beat. Opened up as the odds-on favorite to win this race. That is currently not the case. Obviously, Reddick down to 350 last I looked. I didn't look yet this morning. I first time got on my computer, so I don't know if that'll change much, but yeah, I definitely should be a contender today. What's up, Dave Palma? Says, my perfect lineup build comes in just under the cap. That is usually a very bad sign. Hopefully it's a good sign today if it's your favorite lineup. Hopefully. Good morning, Bossy. Bossy. Good morning, Bonnie. This is good luck today, Chris. Thoughts on having Reddick and Byron in the same lineup? I'm only playing 20 max entries today. I don't love Reddick and Byron together. Again, they basically have to finish 1-2, because even if they do dominate, if they both dominate like half the race and finish 1-2, yes. But again, chances of that are slim. I prefer using one of those 2 drivers, because one of them is going to probably dominate a good chunk of this race, and both should have fast enough cars to contend for the win. So while I like both and I am rostering both, I don't really like it together too much. I would rather get to like a Byron and a Suarez, or a Reddick and I guess a Suarez is another good example there. I don't like, Byron and Reddick. Maybe in one lineup, but I think it's pushing it. Yep, you still got the wrench, coach. You still got it. Conscious says like button. You know it. Goes a long way, and I do appreciate it. What's up, Clint? Says, let's go. Happy race day, everyone. Yeah. Happy race day. First road course race of the year. Probably going to be boring, but I prefer the boring races. They tend to be better for DFS. Jared says, I'm predicting a 10:07 start time. I think you were correct, obviously. 11:07 where I'm at, but I think you might have been right. Usually a couple minutes late. But I gotta let you guys, roll in to get this play started. Good morning, Rick. Spreading coach of the Wrenchman, you know it. Also, if you see a fly buzzing around, hopefully it's not annoying, but it's annoying me. It's been doing this all day. Well, all weekend, really. Can't get it. Ryan says, hey, what's up? Baseball around the corner. You know it. You know it. And also, what's up, Ryan? Who were the most played cores today? Thinking Suarez and Reddick. I got no problem with those two drivers. I mean, the must plays on paper, like Blaney, Reddick, those kind of guys. Busher grades out very well for me as well. But, yeah, Blaney's going to be the one guy everyone's going to play today, which hard not to like him starting in 38th. It really is. And, I don't think passing is going to be crazy today, but if you have a fast enough car, like Ryan Blaney starting in the very back of the field, like legit the back of the field, he's going to gain some spots today. Now, I don't have him projected for a 9th place finish or anything like that. I have him around 17th, I believe. If I can pull that up, I'd love to tell you. Yeah, so I got Blaney finishing at 7.57 for his projected finish today, which it was a lot better than that, but starting in the back of the pack, it nuked it a little bit, but that's still 46.5 DraftKings points, which is near the very top for me. So, yeah, hard to get away from Blaney today. But yeah, baseball's starting soon, I think on Thursday. So I'm very excited about that. Obviously, they're going to do content for that each and every single day. What's up, Carmi? Scott says, who are the top cash plays and cash strategy? Cash plays today, I think everyone's going to start with Reddick, Blaney, Almirola probably. Also, Busher should be very popular in cash games. So probably just working around there. I think everyone knows Reddick's got a fast car, and I'm assuming he's going to be the highest on Dominator. And then I like picking from one of the two of Ross Chastain and Kyle Larson. I think getting one of those guys in cash games is a good route to go as well, because they should be top 5 contenders and they have a little bit of place differential upside. Happy race day to you as well, Brian. Says, have a St. Patty's Day parade today, so I have to lock in my picks. That's a little bit late, but I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, hopefully everything goes well and enjoy the parade. Got a donut from man Pugsley. Says, I went Reddick, Dinger, Bell, Blaney, Gibbs, and LaJoy. Should I change any of them in the last two, or are they solid enough? I'm not huge on LaJoy today. Let me see what his price is. So LaJoy's $5,100. I was gonna say I kind of like getting the Todd Gilliland instead, but I don't. I'm assuming you're kind of maxing out the salary there, so I don't. Maybe you can't quite get to that. But I mean, you could do worse, I guess. But I'm not huge on LaJoy. Everything else is all right, though. Contra says no passing happening today. I mean, that very well could be the case. I mean, some guys are going to gain spots. Obviously, like a Kyle Larson's not going to be stuck in 13th all day. There's going to be some drivers that can gain for sure, but it's not going to be like, Martin Truex starting in 8th or 25th? Yeah, 25th. He's not going to shoot up to the top 10 within a couple of laps. That's certainly not going to happen today. What's up, Danny? Should be a good one today. What's up, Anthony? Let's go. Race day, boys. Let's make that money. Let's hear your pick to win today. How about your chalkiest driver you own? Well, the model likes Tyler Reddick to win. I have him at a 4.42 projected finish. I think I have Byron in second at 6.34. So I have Reddick to win currently. I mean, it's hard to argue against it. He's definitely got a great car. We know how good he was at road courses. Last year, I was kind of hoping he got the pole, but he's still in the front row. But chalkiest driver I own, I mean, there's a decent amount of chalk I'm playing today. I mean, I'm not really avoiding the chalk per se. Like I have Blaney, I have Reddick, I have Almirola. It's just I'm not going to go overboard on some of those guys. And I like some of my other spots for tournaments. Like I want to be overweight on Daniel Suarez. I want to be overweight on some of the other drivers that aren't going to have as much ownership with similar upside. I know I'm late, Rick. I know. Fashionably late as always. Good morning, Eric. So C-Pen's the goat. We'll right back at you, sir. Appreciate you being here. Oh, lost my spot. Whoop. Sorry, lost my spot. Okay. Good morning, Moondog. Good morning. Looking forward to the baseball draft tonight. I think Blaney's a free square today, says Rick. Kind of. He's as close as a free square as you can get. He's not overly expensive. He's starting in the back of the pack at a race where dominator points aren't going to be that important. He looks like he's got a top 15 car in practice. As long as Blaney does not wreck today and he's contending for a top 15, good chance he's in the optimal lineup. So, yeah, he's close to a free square, but nothing's ever guaranteed, so that's not meaning I'm going to lock him in. Now, in single entries, yeah, I'm probably just going to play Blaney and move on because he's cheap on both sites. But tournaments, there's definitely some pivots to be had. Like you have Daniel Suarez right there, who could honestly win this race. Then you have Austin Cindric, Joey Logano. All those guys are playable too. What's up, Galvin? Says good day, ladies and gents. Excited to hear the GOAT CP's thoughts on today's race. Appreciate that. Best of luck, community. Yeah, hopefully we can all do well today. Hopefully we can all do well. What's up, Andre? What's up, James? Loud and clear from Brian. Anthony says, if I had a nickel for every moment I was waiting for Chris P, I would have 4 nickels. Yeah, gotta have the suspense for you all. That is for sure. Corey says, CP, what's up? What's up, Corey? How's Penske fitting in your lineups today? Appreciate your time. Let's go racing. They're definitely in my lineups today. I think Cindric's a pretty good tournament play. He's showing some decent positive leverage for me. I'm only projecting him to have around 10 to 13% ownership, and optimal rate has that much higher. So I think he's a fine tournament pivot off of guys like Reddick and Byron, who obviously are good plays, but their ownership is going to be much higher. And then also Ryan Blaney. Obviously, everyone's going to get the Ryan Blaney today. And then Joey Logano is someone that I have some interest in. He's starting in 15th. He's below 9K. I think he should be a top 12 contender. And I am showing a little bit of positive leverage there. So Team Penske is good in my books today. Don't have a problem with that. Jared says, COTA helps me achieve my Sunday naps. Yeah, it's going to be a boring one. If we don't have cautions today and it's just green, I prefer that. But it's going to be very boring. Like, it certainly is. Especially if we have a guy like Reddick or Byron with like a 10-second lead or something. It's going to be a snoozer. Got my man Bull here. Says, good morning, fine folks. Let's get this day started. Don't forget to like this stream. Yep, goes a long way. I do appreciate that. What's up, Chris? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. What's up, Mass? Hopefully all is going well. Bryson says, what's up, Chris? What's up, Bryson? Any plays under 6K on DraftKings? Almirola is going to be pretty chalky down there. He's obviously in play. He does scare me, though. Not very good at road courses, and he just has a wrecking problem. It was also pretty slow in practice. But he's playable. I think Gillen's a decent pivot off of Almirola, starting in 36. Pretty similar play, in my opinion. Honestly, looks like his car a little bit faster, so I like Gillen. And then after that, no, not really anybody else I like. Gregson's got decent starting position to work with, and maybe he can hold on to a top 12. But, practice, he was 25th and 17th in the 5 lap. He'll probably just end up fading back because there's some good cars coming from behind that more than likely are going to pass Gregson. So I would say Almirola and Gillen are my preferred options down low. What's up, Pugsley? Who's your favorite leverage and favorite dom play on DraftKings? Favorite dominator would be Tyler Reddick. As far as who's showing the most leverage on the slate for me, just compared to ownership and optimal rate, it's going to be Michael McDowell. I'm not saying Michael McDowell is someone no one's going to play today. I'm projecting for over 20% ownership, but projections love him, and I think he should probably be higher owned. So like McDowell a lot today. And then McDowell is maybe too chalky for you. Another guy showing a lot of leverage is Cindric and also Chastain and Larson. But, they're also going to have higher ownership, but those are the guys that are popping a bit. Also, Daniel Suarez. I see my girlfriend here. What's up, Juliana? Got the little hearts there. But yes, happy race day. Smoking Gun says, what's up, Chris? How many drivers starting from 28th on back would you use in a lineup? I wouldn't go overboard. A couple are fine, but this is certainly not Daytona. So I wouldn't go crazy. I don't think there's a set number, though. Got my man Tito here, Ride and Shine, C-Pen, Truex or log out. We'll see. I'm probably going to be underweight on Truex today, though. Truex I have at, I believe, negative leverage. Let me check. Yeah, I keep thinking he's starting 28th for some reason, but I think that was last week, wasn't it? Yeah, I actually have Truex as one of my worst leverage plays, just based off his ownership and optimal rate. So, yeah, I'm gonna play some Truex, but I'm gonna be underweight, just because of the ownership. I think there's better plays down there. What's up, Matt? Eric says Gillen won here with the truck. a couple years ago. I mean, I think, like I said, Gillen's not a bad play down low, starting in 36, $5,400. He is showing some positive leverage for me. Almirola is currently a negative leverage, so I definitely think he's a fine pivot. Yes, Miss Jules is here. Jacob says Cindric love. I like Cindric. Not like I think he's my favorite play in the slate, but I do think he's going to be under-owned compared to like Byron or Reddick, and he could easily put up a similar score. I mean, we know Cindric's a great road course driver, and he obviously has a fast car as well. But it's not going to be an easy task overtaking like Reddick or Byron, but it's certainly possible. Good morning to you as well, C. Mitch. Nice to see you here. Everyone says, "Wall looking good." Oh yeah, yeah. My Blaney picture in the back you sent me. I do appreciate that, Earl. Although it's got quite a reflection right now. I have to fix that. Boldignov says, "Road courses are my most profitable track type." For me, last year, those were my most profitable as well. I think I had 2 takedowns, one at Sonoma, and forget the other one. Can't remember. I'm trying to think. Definitely wasn't Indy. Indy was terrible. But yeah, road courses were good to me. You know, I was heavy on Daniel Suarez when he won that Sonoma race, so that was a good time. Brian says, "How's Bubba looking? Seems like he had a fast car, but he sucks a road." Yeah, that's the thing with Bubba. Fast car, which I think Tyler Reddick's probably helping him with that for practice and qualifying, you know, just following what he does. But once it comes to the race and you have to do it over and over with other guys around you, that's where I feel like the mistakes can start happening for Bubba, because we know he's awful at road courses. So I'm a little scared to roster him. Like, he's starting at what, 11th? I think he's a better play over on FanDuel. He's about $7,000 on DraftKings, which is still cheap. But I still have him projected for an 18th place finish. And over on FanDuel, though, he is $3,500. Like, that's free. That's on the same price line as guys like LaJoy, Todd Gilliland, Eric Almirola. So I'd rather take chances on him on FanDuel, I think. But yeah, I'm not getting to much Bubba today, even though he was fast. Good morning to you as well, Don Yeezy. That's always a tongue twister for me. K Sizzle says, "What are your top 5 cash plays if you're not playing cash than GPP?" I'm not playing cash today personally, but if you're playing cash, I'm not gonna do 5. But like Blaney, Reddick, Almirola, Busher, those are the guys I'd be looking to roster in cash games and tournaments. You know, guys like Ross, Larson, Suarez, those kind of guys, Gillen. They're all going to be in play for me. Manny says, "Thanks for breaking these races down for us, Chris, or with us." Yeah, no problem, Manny. You guys are part of it. You know, I'm the only one here. You guys are helping me out along the way. Chad says, "Easiest way to stop flies is hairspray. Their wings will stick to their bodies and they'll fall out of the air." Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Chad. I'll have to try that. There it goes again. I think its sole purpose is to annoy me during the stream. B Hockey says, "Larson, Chastain, Blaney, Busher, Gibbs, Almirola. Tell me where I could have went wrong, please." Looks good. I'm surprised it fits, to be honest. It's a pretty good looking lineup. I have no problem with that at all. Looks good. Now, you probably don't have an early dominator, which, again, that's not a huge concern at a road course. As long as Larson or Chastain gets towards the front, they'll make up for the laps they missed. So that's fine with me. Kyle says, "I'm building 20 lines. I don't even know where to begin." Well, good thing we got about 4 hours to work with then, Kyle. I'm sure we can figure it out along the way. But definitely several ways you can go. I think it's a fun slate. Sam says, "Top tourney plays." I mean, Suarez, I like him. We know Trackhouse is going to be fast. And I guess his family hasn't seen him in like 6 months, and they drove up. So if you want a good story, there you go. So looking forward to this race. I mean, Suarez, Cindric, those kind of guys are fine up front because, you know, Byron and Reddick are definitely going to soak in some ownership. I also love Michael McDowell a lot. Good morning to you as well, Albert. On a rare Sunday off, get to hang out live for the first time this season. Awesome, Albert. Nice of you to join us. Usually have to leave a question and watch the replay after work. Well, this is your chance. Leave any question you got. I'd be more than happy to answer you. Tito says, "No Truex slander is allowed." No, I think it can be allowed, Tito. You can't wrench me off my own stream, so. Saying Bowman's scary. It is kind of scary for where he's starting. I know he did well at COTA last year, but man, six is a scary starting spot. That's for sure. Jim says, hi, Chris. Hamlin, Truex, Logano, and Suarez. I'm not sure how much Hamlin and Truex I'm going to have today. Logano and Suarez, I'm playing for sure. I'm going to have some Hamlin and Truex exposure, but I'm not going to be up towards the field. I'll be lower for sure. Use chopsticks for the fly. That's some precision right there. Not sure I'll make it. Abrasuve? Abrasuve? That might be right. Who do you think finishes better? Almirola, Button, or Raikkonen? I think of those three, I have Raikkonen finishing the best. Pretty sure. Let me check. Yep. Kimi would be the top guy of that bunch. Bell and Joey Logano in the same lineup, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Got no problem with that. Bull and Tito wrenching today too. Yeah, you know it. They gotta flex the wrench. Thoughts on Austin Dillon? I'm okay with Dillon. He popped in the optimal for me around. Yeah, Austin Dillon's actually showing some decent leverage, like over 20% of the time. It doesn't feel great, but for where he's starting, I know he's not known as like a road course guy, but honestly, he's not been bad recently. I think the past 8 technical road courses, he's been in the top 15 7 times or 6 times, something like that. So he's been quietly all right, and I think bringing Kyle Busch aboard is definitely going to help them overall. We know he's a good road course racer, so I'm fine with Dillon today. I mean, I got Dillon for around a 22nd place finish, which doesn't sound great, but at his price point for where he's starting, that's not bad. We got all the wrenches showing up today. I know, we're just missing Andy. We just need to get Andy in here. Brad Keselowski's sleeper pick? He's okay. I mean, I prefer his teammate Buescher a couple of spots further back, but I'm not like anti-Keselowski, but he's showing a little bit of negative leverage for me. Sir Pico says, how much Reckhouse Jr. is too much? Don't love Stenhouse today. He's starting a little bit high for me. I believe I currently have him, yeah, barely popping in my optimal at all. So I don't think I'm going to have much Ricky. It's not like where he's starting. SS Jackson says, hey CP, what's up SS? What do you think about the price picks number on Byron leading 17.5 laps? I thought that number was a bit high. I think Reddick or Cynic will pass him early. Any thoughts? I was looking at that one too. I did not pull the trigger on it, but I do think it's a bit high. The problem is, and the reason I don't want to take it, like I currently have it projected to be under. I gave Byron, I think, 15 laps. But at the same time, if he gets a good jump at this race and he can just cruise, get to a nice second lead, there's no caution to bunch that up. So if there was still a stage caution, I would take the under on that because it probably gets screwed up somehow. But with no stage caution, I don't think it's worth the risk in case he just cruises for a while. So I personally did not take it. I have it projected to be under, yes, but I still wasn't confident enough to take that route. And honestly, I thought Prize Picks did pretty good with their props this week. I actually didn't like much action over there. The one thing I did like was the Buescher under 48.5. And don't get me wrong, I like Buescher for DFS today, but 48.5 was a bit much. I think that was like a top 12 finish. And I do not have Buescher predicted for a top 12 finish today. I have him around 17th, which is still good for DFS purposes. And looking at it now, he's actually down to 46.5. So I guess I was on the right direction for that. I also thought Bowman was maybe a bit high. Dinger, I think, went from like 37.5 to 41.5. That's kind of priced out in my opinion. I thought the underdog numbers, underdog props, were a bit better. I know some of them did move from last night, but I took Buescher higher than 12.5 starting position. Briscoe was at the same. I took the higher. I also took Bowman over 8.5. And looking at it now, Bowman's still 8.5, but Buescher went from 12.5 to 14.5. And at that point, I'm probably not taking it. And then Briscoe's at 13.5 now. So I guess we got good value there. And if you guys do want to play over on those sites, promo code CPEN, deposit match bonus up to $100. There's your plug for the stream. But yeah, it looks like they did move quite a bit. So you just gotta get early on those, take advantage of them because they will move. Should we play Gilly and Ty Gibbs in cash today? I don't think I would play them in cash. I don't really think you have to go below a guy like Almirola for cash today. Jared says Larson, Reddick, Blaney, Bowman, Priest, and Gilland for GPP. That's fine. Bowman's what's going to make that pretty low owned there, and obviously Gilland and Priest. So I'm fine with that. You have chalk, but you also have some lower owned plays. I see Haley Deegan's here. Obviously, I'm assuming that's a fake account. Natalie says, what about Johnson? I don't really like Jimmy today. He was just not expecting much. If people want to play him because he's Jimmy Johnson, be my guest. But, I mean, he was 36 in practice. I had him projected to finish around 28th, 29th, and that's just not good enough at $7,300. Chad says Stenhouse 13th in practice. I know the speed was all right there. I'm not trusting him on a road course. It's tough. Like, I don't think he's the worst flyer in the world if you just want to get off of someone like the Almirola chalk. But I just can't do it personally. Kevin says Blaney 23.5 cars passed. I took the under. I am projected for 20.5, 20.3. So I took the under there. That was one of the props I actually forgot to mention. Because 23.5 is what, like a 14th, 13th, something like that? Well, I guess I could just 38 minus 23.5. Yeah, so you basically need him to finish better than 14th, which I am predicted around 17th. So took the under. Manny says last man in 6,400 and below on DraftKings. Appreciate the help. 6,400 and under. I believe Austin Dillon would be my highest projected. Yeah, Austin Dillon would be the highest at 6,400 and under. Next guy would be Almirola. Thoughts on Keselowski? Pretty similar play to Buescher, although I do prefer Buescher just a little bit more because you get extra PD upside. And Buescher was really good at the road courses last year, but I think Kes is fine. I mean, 24th in the one lap in practice, 13th in the 5 lap. Like, he should gain spots today. But Buescher definitely had a lot more success last season, past couple of years actually. So, but I'm not like anti-Kes. It's just he does show some negative leverage because Buescher's soaking it up there. I think Byron will win. He's been fast yesterday. I think he can be fast again. Yeah, it's certainly possible. I mean, William Byron, we know how good he's been so far this year. I'm not betting against Byron today. I will certainly have my fair share of exposure. Actually, I think he does have some positive leverage too in some scores. I'm just not going to play him with Reddick much at all. Maybe on FanDuel, because the scoring's a little bit different, but DraftKings, I don't love it. See my mom's here. What's up, Mom? Better make sure you get that fly. I'm trying. Happy race day, all. NASCAR fans, good luck, everyone, and go Logano. You were right. Logano won last week, so that was a good week for you. He was dominant. Brian says Chris Buescher. Love Buescher. I mean, he's going to be really chalky play today, but for a good reason. Albert says, how does Chastain, Reddick, Blaney, Almirola, McDowell, and Buescher look for cash? That's like my projected optimal, although I think I have Larson over Chastain, but I mean, that's kind of flipping a coin there, but looks good for sure. Bull says, ready for my boys at 23-11 to dominate today? I think Reddick can dominate for sure. Bubba, maybe not so much, Bull, but I'm all aboard the Reddick train. Charles says, thoughts on Buescher? Answered that. I know. I wasn't being mean there. I'm just saying I already answered that for you. So hopefully that got you. Let's see. Got a donut from a man, Robert. Appreciate that. Everyone should show CP some love. He gives out way too much info for free. Appreciate it, CP. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And if you guys do enjoy the free content, got a lot more over on the Patreon side of things, but I'll never force anyone to join. Buescher or Taylor, thanks. Whew. It depends on your build. Like, if you already have a bunch of guys in the back, I would say Taylor just to get someone up front. But if you're already kind of front heavy, I would go Buescher there. So it depends what kind of like you already have in your lineup, But Taylor looks good. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a top 10 run today. I actually have him projected to finish. Oh, where's he at? Pretty good for. So in theory, I have him projected to finish 9th, like overall. Like, if you rank these guys, but I have him at 1103. Which is good. I mean, that's around guys like Bowman, McDowell, a little bit after Daniel Suarez. But I think Taylor can have a really good run today for sure. Got a donut from man Clint. Appreciate that. Speaking of Jordan Taylor, is Taylor in good equipment? Like, if I load him up with him in the Mini-Max, is he going to blow an engine in the first 5 laps? Yeah, Taylor's in the 9 car. I mean, he's in good stuff today. He can definitely make some noise. And he's cheap. $6,500 on FanDuel, 75 over on DK. It's hard not to like them, that's for sure. Oh, but I do appreciate the dono, Clint. Thank you very much. Go Harvick and go Rangers, MLB. I can't get on the Rangers train with you, but I know you're from Texas, so I'll let it slide. Where are we at? MMA Pixel says, who will finish last? I lost my money on your pick last week. Finishing last? I don't know who's going to finish last. I don't even think you can bet that. Philip says, Chastain, Larson, Reddick, Bowman, McDowell, and Allmendinger, Fantrax. Fantrax. I'm not really sure how Fantrax works, but that doesn't look bad. I mean, I like those guys. If it's similar to like the NASCAR Live game, definitely looks good. Anthony says, love my lineup, but my final spot is Spinhouse. Anyone you would rather have in his price range? In his price range, I think Todd Gilliland at $5,400. If you can get to him, it's only $200. I'd rather go there. So I wouldn't mind that. Coach is going on timeout. Am I missing? Did I miss something? Jesse says, Bowman or Logano. I would go with Joey there. It's a little bit more PD upside with similar finishing position upside. Jorge says, if you would go 100% on somebody in your lineups, who would you go with? The cop-out answer is probably Blaney. He's like the least likely guy to screw you today. So I'd probably say Blaney if I had to. AB says, an underdog, higher, lower, does that mean better or worse? Then it's confusing, isn't it? Because I actually bet it the wrong way the first time I played. So if you bet higher on, for example, Larson's at 5.5. If you bet it higher, you're projecting him to finish worse than 6, or worse than 5th, I should say. So if you think Larson finishes in the top 5 today, you'd want to pick lower on 5.5 prop. That makes sense because it's weird because lower is like higher on the leaderboard. I don't like how they word it, but I'd rather play Gibbs over Bubba. I would too. I like Gibbs over Bubba today. Thoughts on Denny Hamlin, sneaky GPP play? Ask Brian. I'm not like in love with Hamlin today. He's not like the worst projected driver, but at the same time, I have him at 31 points, projected for a 16th-ish place finish. It's just other guys I'd rather get to be honest. I don't really love Denny. Bubba isn't Scott. I don't know what that means. Bubba isn't awful at road courses. He's had terrible luck there. I mean, he has not had a good history at road courses. Terrible luck or not, he is not a good road course driver. I'm sorry. Can he do well today? Sure, it seems like he has a fast car, but he is not a good road course driver. Let's see. Who's my favorite 6.6K or under on DraftKings? I like Ty Gibbs for tournaments. Austin Dillon, Todd Gilliland, Eric Almirola are all fine to me. Travis Long says, best pit stop team so far. We don't really get pit data. So, I mean, if you're looking at last year, I mean, Ross, Harvick, those kind of guys were near the tops of the charts. Kyle Busch was very good as well. Austin Dillon was up there. But, you can't really get reliable pit data. Stanley says, should you have at least one of Byron or Reddick? A lot of my lineups would for sure. Brian says, thoughts on Denny Hamlin? Already answered that one. Eric says, how about Jimmy Johnson starting in the back with sharpened road skills from Indy? Well, he's going to have to sharpen them a little bit better because it certainly hasn't showed so far this weekend. Starting in 31st, he was 36 in practice. Looks like he's got some work to do, that's for sure. So I don't really have any Jimmy today. Another question about Jimmy. Says, I know he's like to practice, but maybe place differential item. I mean, Michael McDowell's cheaper. He's way faster. You also have, I mean, I'd rather play Jordan Taylor over Jimmy Johnson. I'd rather play Busher, Keselowski, McDowell. I'd rather play Bubba over Jimmy Johnson. I mean, at least Bubba was fast in practice. So, yeah, I'm not going with Jimmy. If Jimmy wants to be optimal today, whatever. I'll take the L, I guess. Philip says, Chastain, Larson, Reddick, Bowman, McDowell, Allmendinger, anything wrong? No, that looks fine to me. No problem with that. He says, Blaney, Busher, Hamlin, Harvick, Kessler, Logano. I don't really think you have anyone that can lead laps or even really win the race. Maybe get at least one guy in front. This isn't Daytona, so you want some high finishers. Mass says, thoughts on Bell? Bell's a weird one. We know he's fine at road course. He's starting in 14th, 9th in the 5 lap in practice, 17th in the 1 lap. I don't know. I just don't really think he's gonna. Sure, can we be a top 10 contender? Sure, but I'm not in love with it. Thoughts on Prix? I don't mind him as one of the pivots down low, like off Almirola. That's really about it. Chat, is there a lot of pit stops in this type of race? Well, we don't have the 4 stage cautions, but there's going to be a handful of them. Just about. Blaney Busher answered that one. Oh, actually, no, I just was in the wrong spot. Jared says, there's only one Chris Pennell poise. Thank you, brother, for all the help. Hit that like button, everyone. I do appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. And the like button does go a long way. Oh, sorry, Pugsley. I don't know why. It does not show the $1.99 donuts for some reason. So I don't see it until I scroll down, so I'm sorry about that. It says Chastain, Larson, Suarez, Cindric, Almirola, and Gilliland. It doesn't look bad. I mean, you do have 2 punts in there, which never feels that great, but I like the rest of the build. So, I mean, it can work. I'm not sure how I feel about 2 bottom guys, but it's fine because Almirola is not, for where he's starting, it's not the worst, obviously. Thoughts on Eric Jones? I think he's starting a bit too high for me. I mean, he has speed. He looked good. I just think he's going to fade back, though, is the thing. And he's priced right around guys like McDowell, Taylor, Busher, Keselowski, Harvick, so it's going to be tough for him to be optimal today. Cody says, thoughts on Harvick? I like him. I mean, he's okay. I don't think he's going to be fast, but the thing about Harvick is he's just there at the end. Like, he's smart. He's not going to make mistakes. Other guys are going to make mistakes. They'll fade back. And Harvick's, at the end of the day, he'll be like 15th, 16th place. And you're like, where did Harvick come from? And it's just because he doesn't make stupid mistakes. So, yeah, I don't think Harvick's a bad play at $8,000. I mean, last year at the road courses, he was just consistently grabbing like top 15s, which starting in 29th, that's all you can really ask for. And he's pretty cheap, $8,000 on DraftKings, $6,800 on FanDuel. Really easy to get it over there. So, I don't mind Harvick. And, he was mentioning like tire fall off, and we know Harvick is always pretty good at that. Oh, appreciate that, Manny. Thank you very much, sir. Definitely don't have to do that, but it's always appreciated, sir. Busher or Bubba? I would go with Busher. History Buff says, how much Blaney is too much starting in 38th? So I have him projected for mid-40s ownership. Optimal rate for me is at 46. And from optimal rate for Blaney, it's in the upper 40s. At the same time, I have conservative projections. So I would say too much would probably be once you're getting over like 60, 70 if you really like Blaney today. Because there's pivots to be had. Like if Suarez in the same price range wins the race, leads 20 laps, and Blaney's like 18th, I'd rather have Suarez in that situation. So there's definitely pivots, and you can obviously play both. Just an example. James says, Chastain, Byron, Almirola, Reddick, and Blaney. Also Gillen last year, starting 39th, I believe, and finished in the top 15. Like, yeah, I think Gillen's a fine tournament play. Like, if you don't want to play Almirola at high ownership, play Todd Gillen. He's probably going to be in the single digits. But the rest of your lineup looks good. I think it's fine. Gibbs, I'm fine with Ty Gibbs today. Starting in 17th, I believe. Had fringe top 12 numbers in practice. If he can get a top 15 at that price, it's not bad. Any thoughts on Dinger? That's the first Allmendinger question I've gotten all stream, and we are like 40 minutes in, and we're at a road course, so there's no one playing Dinger today. I have him. So my projections actually have him at negative leverage, but at the same time, I still got to play Dinger at a road course. I'm just not going to play a ton of him just because of where he's priced and where he's at. But we have to have some Dinger interest. He almost won this race last year until Bowman and Ross were playing ping pong with him. Ended up going in the gravel, and I would rather forget that race. I was doing great. Had Busch, had Dinger, last lap, they died. Sucked. Both are in the top 5. But yeah, Dinger's fine for tournaments. The price is a little tough, though. That's the thing. Kelsey says, I see some drivers such as Taylor I haven't seen before. Or any of them viable? Yeah, definitely some new names this week. Whether they're F1 or from other various racing series. A couple of them are viable. Jordan Taylor would be my favorite for sure. He's in a great ride, and he's got a fast car. After that, I don't love the other guys like Connor Daly. Jimmy Johnson, probably overpriced. Jensen Button, don't really see that working out well. Kimi Räikkönen, maybe. In a trackhouse car, we know they're going to have some speed, but I'm still projecting him to finish a little bit worse than where he's starting. So really, Jordan Taylor for me, he's the one I think with the best upside. Oh, appreciate that, Tito. It's not spam. If you want to click his link, he does have a link to the DK contest, so check that out if you haven't yet done so. Just says, who's your favorite GPP sleeper? Suarez. I think Suarez is going to be under owned today, so I'm going to be overweight on that. I mean, he's got a legit chance to win the race. And also McDowell, which McDowell's going to have ownership, but I think it might be too low. Appreciate the dono, Cohiba. Says, thanks for being you. Thank you very much, Cohiba. Thank you for being you as well. Just got way dark in here for some reason. But thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that. Thoughts on Haley and Eric Jones? 2 guys I'm just not getting to, Kyle. It's tough. I mean, for where they're starting. Justin Haley not as much starting in 23rd. Like, I'd rather play Haley, I think, over, well. Right, did you say Jones or Bubba? Oh, you said Jones. Sorry, I was thinking you said Bubba. I like Bubba a little bit more than Jones. But these are just 2 guys I'm not really getting to. Another donor from Chuck Hold'em. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the help. No problem at all. Thank you for being here. It's always much appreciated. Travis Miller said, what was Suarez in practice? I just joined live. I believe he was P5 in the 1 lap. Pull it up. Yeah, Suarez was P5 in the 1 lap. Then I think he was like almost last in the 5 lap, which I'm assuming something happened. So I just threw that out. I mean, his teammate Ross was, what, 4th? Or 2nd in the 5 lap. So, yeah, Suarez had a fast car. Good morning to you as well, Dimitri. Moondog says, who finishes better, Cindric, Bowman, Blaney, or Hamlin? I have Cindric projected to finish the best of that bunch. He's got the best track position to work with. He's got a fast car, good at road courses. So, assuming he doesn't have any issues, I would assume he finishes the best there. Thoughts on Hamlin? I mean, I like the starting spot. That's about it, though. 19th in the 1 lap in practice, 8th in the 5 lap. I haven't projected to finish on 16th, which not terrible, but at that point, I would just rather play Truex or Harvick or Keselowski, Buescher. So, not getting the much almost said Henny. Much Denny. Cameron says, DK cash play, Blaney, Reddick, Larson, McDowell, Almirola, and Buescher. That's my projected optimal at the moment. So, I can't say I don't like it. That's for sure. Jacob says, Chris, if I get your NASCAR stuff on Patreon, do you have stuff for PP and Underdog there? So I have like a prop chart for Prize Picks. It just has like the fantasy points column, laps led, fast laps, place differential, has all the drivers, their projection, the prop, and then the leverage on each row. I don't have like a certain page for Underdog, but all they have is finishing position, so you can just look at the finishing position. That makes sense? So if you want to check it out, you can. Keselowski, McDowell, or Buescher? I think Buescher might be the best projected of that one. See, I got Buescher at 40.08, McDowell at 38.56, so I guess Buescher's slightly there. Big R Colts fan says, if you have 70 turns left, where would you go for the last guy in a single entry? McDowell would be my top one there. Michael McDowell. Good luck to you as well, Poker MJ23. Michael Mass says, any groups for today? Thank you for your time. No problem at all. Thank you for being here. No groups today for me. I don't really think this is a race where I want groups. If you want to do one group, maybe like not having Byron and Reddick together. But at the same time, it's possible if they both dominated half the race and finish 1-2. So I don't think I really want any groups today. Any of the specials today, that should be a priority. As to Jeff, I wouldn't say a priority. I would say Jordan Taylor definitely got the best shot to make some noise today, though. TGH says, bet Taylor to the top 3. It's aggressive. Big Willie says, like McDowell at all? He's usually solid at the road courses. Yeah, I love McDowell. I really like McDowell today for sure. Yeah, no, I believe you. I mean, Jordan Taylor definitely has speed today, for sure. Conscious says, I was running top 10 in the last lap last week with Kess and Logano. Dropped to 42nd with Logano passing Keselowski. But still get profit from a $3 entry to 3 max. Thank you, Chris, even if you didn't like Brad. I like Brad a little bit. That's for sure. But I'm glad you did well, Conscious. I'm glad you did well. Thoughts on Prix? Just fine. I mean, I have him kind of like in that range of guys like Ty Gibbs, Almirola. Didn't projected worse of that bunch, but he's okay. Big Willie says, go Guardians? Yeah, for sure. I love my Cleveland Guardians. Oh. I mean, they're not a flashy team, but they're scrappy. They seem to always win, so don't complain. Will the 9 stay with Taylor after this race or go back to Dingleberry? Josh Berry does the ovals, so he'll be back. Well, I don't even know which race is next week. I mean, I know it's not another road course. What is next week? Is it Bristol Dirt? I know that's got to be coming up, right? Oh, Richmond is next week, and then we have Bristol Dirt. We actually have 3 fun races coming up. Richmond, Bristol Motor Speedway, and then Martinsville. I don't know why I said Motor Speedway. I'm just reading off the chart here, but is the Richmond race during the day? It is, but we do have Bristol Dirt at night at 7 on Sunday, which that'll be fun. And wasn't the first Martinsville race last year at Saturday night? They're not doing that this year, I guess. But yeah, that's a fun little schedule coming up. And then after Martinsville, we have Talladega too. So we're on a fun stretch here. Austin Dillon or McDowell? I'd go with McDowell there. Sean says, where does Blaney need to finish to meet his price point, and do you think he will? So, I mean, just for example, I have Blaney nearly optimal at half the time, finishing around 17th. So, I mean, if he finishes top 15, I mean, very, very good chance in the optimal. Do I think he will do that? I think he'll come close. Is Harvick good at road courses? He used to, like, pretty darn good at them. He's definitely faded away a bit, but I mean, he was respectable with them last year. I mean, consistently running for the top 15. Like, dating back to since 2021, technical road courses, 3 top 10s, 5 top 15s, and an 8 race sample size. I mean, he's solid. He doesn't usually make mistakes, so. Stack the back strategy today? Not really. Not really. I think some of those place differential guys are going to be overowned. Michael says, hey, boss, just joined. Awesome, Michael. Who are we liking on bets today, my guy? So the bets kind of suck now. I mean, they're priced out. The only bets I have today, I had Reddick at plus 900 to win. Obviously, that's gone. That was 350 on DraftKings last I looked. Let me see what he's at now. Yeah, so I got Reddick at 900. He's down to 350. 410 on FanDuel. I have Larson to win at 650. That went in the wrong direction for me, but I thought it would go down after practice. It didn't. And then I also have Ross to win as well in a McDowell top 10. So that's what I got to bet today. I would not bet Reddick at plus 350 or plus 410. That is not showing value. But right now, the only value in my model would be, I think it's Busch and Chastain to win. So. And one thing I should mention, DraftKings will pull their odds down during practice, but FanDuel leaves them up. Like, Reddick was by far the best car in practice, and I'm like, well, okay, well, I feel like the Reddick line will move at 900, and so for some reason, FanDuel does not pull them down, so you can try to take advantage of that just to get some good value. DePalma says, just hammer the Toyotas today? Yeah, we'll see. I like Reddick. Brian says, Byron, Haley, McDowell, Logano, Bell, and Suarez. It's definitely a tournament lineup, but, I mean, it can certainly do well. Kyle says, no one's talking about Kyle Busch. Yeah, no one is really talking about Kyle Busch, and I think he's a very similar play to guys like Larson and Ross Chastain. I like those two a little bit better, but I mean, Kyle Busch could definitely be a contender today, so do not forget about Kyle Busch, guys. Do not forget about him. I mean, he's in the car that, crushed last year. Dakota says, cash core plays. Blaney, Buescher, Reddick. Those guys will be very popular for cash games. McDowell or Buescher on DraftKings. If you already have a bunch of guys in the back, I would say McDowell. If not, Buescher's fine. Almirola or Gilliland. I would go with Almirola overall. Any idea of fuel in or tire window? I believe last year it was around 20-ish laps for fuel. I don't know if Bob... say Bob tweeted his thing today. Gosh, he spammed a bunch. Okay, so Bob has it as 6 sets of tires, fuel windows, 26 to 30 laps, a little bit longer than I thought. So, well, we got like 68 laps today. Fuel windows 26 to 30. So we'll see what they roll with. What do you think about Toyotas plus 225? Thanks, bud. So if you're betting Toyotas, I would just bet on Reddick. I don't think any other Toyota can win the race, so I'd rather just get better odds on betting Reddick outright. Because what other Toyota do you think can really win today, honestly? I mean, Bubba's not going to win the race. Ty Gibbs probably isn't going to win the race. Truex back in the day, maybe. But I don't think he's winning. I don't think Hamlin's winning. I don't think... who am I missing? I'm missing one of Christopher Bell. I don't think he's going to win either. I think Reddick's their only shot, so I'd rather just take the outright on that. Thoughts on Corey? Assuming you mean LaJoy. I don't know why I would. Who else would be? I don't know why I said that. But yeah, I mean, I don't really like LaJoy today. Starting in 27th, I believe it's kind of high up for me. Jason Hayes, good road course racer. Any comments on him? Yeah, he's definitely not bad at them. It's just starting in 23rd. I'd rather play Dillon, to be honest. I think I'd rather play Ty Gibbs as well. So I'm not really getting to Haley, and he didn't really show us much in practice. 34th in the 1 lap, 21st in the 5 lap. So I'm not in love with Justin Haley. What settings do you use for? I mean, today I don't really have any groups or anything. If you're talking about like an optimizer, I just put my randomness up a little bit and then play around with my exposures. Am I scared of Stenhouse today? Yeah, I'm always scared of Stenhouse. But I am today as well, so not really loving Stenhouse. Albert says, how does Byron, Dinger, Taylor, Cindric, Suarez, and Gilly look for GPPs? Yeah, it's a little too front heavy for me. A little too front heavy. I think a few of those guys up front's fine, but you basically all have to finish up there, and you have to hope a lot of those place differentials bust. So I'd maybe swap out a couple for a couple place differential guys, or at least starting mid-pack. Kicks Good says, feel like Blaney may crash starting so far back on a road course. I'd love to know if he would crash or not. Unfortunately, we have no idea of knowing that. I don't really think he's gonna crash. Could he spin? Sure, but as long as Blaney does not go right into the wall at some point and destroy his car, he's probably gonna contend for a top 20. Bowman versus Logano. You like a head-to-head? That's tough. I think I have Bowman projected to finish better though. Hunter Dobbs says Byron, Reddick, Busch, Larson, Gibbs, and Stenhouse. See, the 1-2 is tough for me. Can it work out? Yes. I just think the chances are slim. They're both optimal. Now, you can get away with not being optimal. So, it's all right. Stenhouse is just a scary one. Corey says best contrarian play and chalk play on FanDuel. I mean, chalk play on FanDuel, Ryan Blaney is cheap at $9,500. Everyone's going to play Ryan Blaney. As far as contrarian plays are concerned, I mean, Suarez, it's pretty much the same guys as DraftKings, really. Like Suarez, Cindric. I'm not sure if McDowell's going to be like super contrarian over there, but I like McDowell a lot too. Checking my phone, getting a lot of texts. Someone texted me they got a boost for Reddick to finish in the top 3 It was 220, but now it's plus 300. If anyone's interested in that. I don't know. Yeah. Anthony says Byron or Cindric on DraftKings. I would go with Byron there. Jacob says Chevy's ball here. I mean, shoot, Chevys are always good at road courses. Bull says Busher, Blaney, Reddick all over 50 and 150 max. I'm okay with that. I mean, if that's the core you want to roll with, I mean, they're in good spots for sure. Corey says Taylor no respect on the garage since they just drive over him. Hope not. Hope not. I don't know. I mean, he's got a fast car. And it's not like he has to worry about making friends along the way. Like, they don't have to see him later on like next week. So, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he's got a good car. Maybe they'll forget it's not Chase Elliott. It's the 9 car. I don't know. Just doing some hopium there. Hey, no problem at all. Choke Hold'em says, are we stacking the back? How much cash are we allowed to leave on the table today? Any dime groups? Not necessarily stacking the back today, no. No dime groups for me. And cash on the table today, you can leave a little bit. It's fine. Not really when you have to max out your salary. Spread says, smack the like button. I'd appreciate that. Tyler says, is 20% Cindric and GPP too little? Not loving his position, but knowing he's viable on road courses. No, I don't think it's too little. I think Cindric's probably going to be in the lower teens maybe in ownership. So, I mean, that's enough to be overweight, I think. I cannot see Cindric being at the 20s as far as ownership is concerned. We'll see. The price is nice. So, yeah, I could be wrong there, but he's definitely going to have a good car today, I'd imagine. Suarez or Cindric for GPP. I would go with Suarez there. You get a couple extra PD spots, and I mean, we know Trackhouse is going to be fast. The Palma says Josh Bilicki is a good road course guy, including a 12th around America and 22nd here last year, only $4,600. You can. I don't really see the need to go down that low. 37th in the 1 lap practice, 25th in the 5 lap. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really super excited about it. Pete says 43 car in Victory Lane would be a nice GPP play. Potgrass calling him for a long shot upset. Unfortunately, I can't agree with Bob today. I don't think he'll win, but I guess we'll see. If Eric Jones wins today, I'll be taking no questions at this time. Big T says late to the party. How many top 10 in optimal lineup? I don't know if there's a specific number we're gonna have in the top 10, but I think 2 is fine to have in the top 10. You could push it to 3. Chase Briscoe, not getting into too much Briscoe, just kind of like where he's priced. Like you have Truex right there, Kevin Harvick, even Bowman, Hamlin, Logano, Cindric all look better in my opinion, so I don't really have much Briscoe. I don't know what to think on Ty Gibbs with the start. I don't think he's a bad play. I mean, he was top 12 in practice. $6,600, he's cheap. We know he's had success. Xfinity Series or road course starting in 17th. I don't mind it. Sam says Austin Dillon, Bell, McDowell, Reddick, Busher, Blaney in a single entry. That can work. It's fine. You have an early Dom with Reddick. You have Blaney, Dillon, place differential as well as Busher, then McDowell, Bell. So yeah, that's fine. Mass says White Sox. No, thank you, Mass. But I look forward to being on top of the division once again this year. I agree with you, Jacob. I agree. I don't even really usually call them the Guardians. It's so hard because I'm so used to calling them the Indians. Anthony says Bell. He's in a weird spot today. Like, is Bell good at road courses? Yes, he can be good. Problem is, I don't know. I just don't really see him going too far in the top 10 or even being in the top 10. So, like, I'd rather play Blaney. I'd rather play Byron, Suarez. So, he's tough to get to. If you're going to boost anyone in Cruncher, who would it be? Basically, who are your 3 to 5 drivers for tourneys today? I mean, I would boost Larson and Chastain up. I'd also boost probably Reddick. And then I also like Michael McDowell a lot. For cash games, Ethan, I would go with Almirola over Gillen for cash. Ty Gibbs or Austin Dillon? That's a tough one right there. Let me check my projections. I feel like it's going to say Austin Dillon. Yeah, I have Dillon at 27, Gibbs at 25, so it's close, but I would probably have to go with Dillon there. If you already have a lot of place differential, though, I would say Gibbs. Albert says, thanks for the info, Chris. No problem at all, Albert. Got to get ready for an auction draft. Good luck, all. Good luck, Albert. I have my fantasy baseball draft later, too. Not auction, though. That sounds rough. It's a snake draft, though. So we'll see who lands in my lap. I'm in 8th. What's your take on Burton today? I am not playing Burton. I'm not like nothing personal against Burton, but for where he's starting and where I'm expecting him to finish, it's just one of the worst plays on paper for me. Like I'm around 24th, he's starting 16th. It's only 11 points. Just can't really get there. Blues Rocker says, what does dominator mean? It means a guy that can lead laps, get fast laps, things like that. Shep says it would be live streaming the races. No, I'd get demonetized immediately if I did that. Eric says, would you use the same cash lineup across the board? I usually would. I don't like doing multiple cash lineups. Jacob says, I got Reddick, Blaney, Suarez, Cindric, McDowell, Almirola. Man, 3 in the top 5 is tough. I feel like 2 in the top 5 is fine. 3, you're pushing it. I'm not saying it can't work. It's just it's a little tough. Tommy says, who is your pick to win today? I'm assuming that's not the actual Tommy G. I mean, Reddick's my projected winner, but would I bet on him to win at his price point now? No. I still think there's value on guys like Larson, Chastain, Kyle Busch, though. Suarez or Bell on DraftKings? I would go with Suarez. Travis Miller says, I'm saying Cindric or Suarez for the win. Possible. I would not mind at all seeing Suarez in victory lane today. Yes, they do, Kevin, although it's new this year. It's the ones they're doing at short tracks and road courses. Thoughts on Logano? I'm okay with Logano. I haven't really got many questions on him. But $8,700 starting in 15th. I pretty much expect him to be contending for a top 10 today, and that's fine at his price. What 5 drivers would you use for the 3 max? 5? It's almost a whole lineup. But I'd have a lot of Larson, Chastain, McDowell. Probably a lot of Reddick, too. Timothy says, any specific groups today? None for me. Just going to kind of just run it today. Is 50% Austin Dillon too much in a 20 max? Too much for me. I don't think I can get to 50% Austin Dillon personally. The dude's hop says, best driver, $5,800 and under Almirola right now. I think Todd Gilliland was the next highest guy for me that's at that price point. Got my man Austin in here, who was actually just reading his text. That's funny. Says, Reddick plus 300 boost on FanDuel to finish top 3. Should I bet it? It's tough, Austin. Honestly, I think I'd rather just bet him to win at plus 350. But my projections do have him in the top 3, so I don't think it's the worst boost out there. But I don't know. It's just such a not my favorite number, but I mean I think he can top 3 today. He's got the best car. So if you want to do the boost, go for it. I know you've been doing well betting, so I guess he has some money to throw around. Jacob says, thanks for today, CP. Good luck, DFS NASCAR fam. Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate that. Mundo's World says, who's your top DOMs for today? As far as my highest DOM percentage goes, in the sim scores, I have Reddick first, Byron second, then Larson, Cindric, Suarez in that order. But after Byron and Reddick, they're all like just about the same percentage. Buescher or Taylor? I would go with Buescher. But if you have like a ton of place differential already, no one up front, I would say Taylor in that situation. Any Austin Dillon is too much for me. Look, I hate rostering that guy too. It's never fun. Mark says, sorry I'm late. What do you think of Dinger for GPP and for plus 1,000 to win? I'm never going to call Almirola a lock. He's not very good at road courses either. I'm okay with Almirola, but he's not a lock. For him to win, I don't think Dinger wins today, but as far as tournaments are concerned, I can play Dinger in tournaments. I think Bowman's going to win. It's possible. I mean, he almost won last year. You as well, Austin. Thank you for stopping in. Where are we at? Oh, Gillen thoughts had some speed. I don't hate Gillen today. I think he's a decent pivot off of Almirola, to be honest. Oh, what's up, Jason? Got a different account this time. Who's the best top 3? For my top 3, I have it Byron, Larson, and Reddick. Not necessarily in that order, but that's my projected top 3. On at Foghorn. Who's the pivot off of Austin Dillon then? Oh, I mean, you got guys like Gibbs, Prix, Almirola. Shoot, even Bubba is a pivot there. What's my thoughts on Harvick? Kind of a boring play, but he'll probably be contending for a top 15 and starting nearly 30th. I mean, I think you have to have some Harvick exposure. FanDuel picks. I mean, it's basically all the same as DraftKings. I mean, Blaney, Larson, McDowell, Busher, Byron, Reddick. I mean, it's all the same guys. You can build similar lineups. Is Gregson worth a buy low? Or a low buy? I don't hate Gregson. He actually popped up a little bit in the optimal for me. I think he had like 8 to 10%, something around there. So I don't like completely hate Gregson. I would have liked to see Kyle Busch in the 3 this year. That'd be fun. Well, he looks good in the 8 though. He does. I'm not playing Jimmy today, Bill. He's not showed any speed this weekend. I'm not sure if it's just going to randomly appear. His teammates seem fast, I guess, which I think even makes it look worse that he doesn't have any speed. So I'll be passing on Jimmy. Dylan or Jordan Taylor? I think I actually have Jordan Taylor projected better than Dylan. Yeah, I have Taylor for just a couple more points than Dylan today. Any Haley today? Not much. 3 guys under 7,000 on DraftKings you like? Well, I like Dylan. I like Almirola. Ty Gibbs is fine. It's not a bad range. I feel the Mike. I know. He's got speed, but he's just not. I mean, yes, the one guy was correct. He does have some bad luck at road courses, but it just always happens. Like, it's bad. Matt says, how much AJ today? Been hard to get to him for me. Yeah, Optimal is only showing him around like 10 to 15%, so it's kind of hard to get there, but he's not a complete fade for me. I mean, we know how good Dinger is at road courses. Bell, Logano, or Suarez. I would probably go with Suarez there. And I think I caught up. We're over an hour. If you guys have any last second questions, serious, silly, I don't really care. Fire them my way before I get off of here. But I do appreciate everyone being here today. If you can leave a like on your way out, I also appreciate that. We'll have the extra content over on Patreon. That's about it, I think. That's all I got for you guys. Hoping for not really a fun race. Hopefully it's fun for DFS. Hoping it's kind of boring, to be honest, because it's a boring race. I think we'll see the best drivers near the front, which is what we want. Eric says Kyle Busch almost won trucks. Opposite pit strategy won it for Zane Smith, who started 7th. Yeah, Kyle Busch was minus 110 to win that race. I think that's the first time I've seen someone minus odds to win a race. So, but yeah, just kind of surprised he didn't win, to be honest. Any Blaney? Yeah, lots of Blaney today. Lots of Blaney. I'm not really playing button. You're welcome, Andrew. Appreciate that. You're welcome, Manny. Isabella a fade? Not necessarily a fade, but not something like going my way to play. Just whatever the opto gives me, I'll take it. Off to Discord. Yep. See you in Discord, Rick. Well, I'll be there during the race. What does the Alchemist say for DraftKings? Lots of Blaney, lots of Busher, lots of Reddick. Tell you that. Chris tells Skodoos he stinks. I guess you stink, Skodu. I'm sorry. I don't know who that is, but Cindric or Logano. Cindric, I think I'm a little bit higher, but it would just depend on who I have in my lineup. You already have a couple guys in the top. I'd go with Logano. If not, Cindric. What was the Brad K take? Similar play to Busher, but I do like Busher a little bit better. I have him think around 20% is fine for Brad K. Sorry, I'm firing through these. Larson, Busher, Reddick, McDowell, Gillen, Byron. Not a bad looking lineup that can work. Long race, that's for sure. It's going to be long, probably going to be boring. It's pretty balanced, Noah, but at the same time, you can fit in Larson, Reddick, and like a guy like Blaney in pretty easily without going below like a Eric Almirola, to be honest. Kyle says Byron, Reddick, and Blaney all 50% for 20 max. I mean, I'm not anti that. That can work out. I'm just not sure I want to have a ton of Byron, Reddick together, so I'd make sure that's kind of limited. Any Kimi Räikkönen, maybe a few percentage points, but not a lot. Best low play for the day, probably Eric Almirola. Samuel says, MTJ, I'm scared to play in tournaments. Me too, I'm going underweight, Samuel. So I'll be under on Truex. And thoughts on when I take Stephen Kwan with the number 1 pick tonight? We're going to have to fight because that's my number 1 pick, obviously. I want to name my name. I want to name my team Rich Homie Kwan, so don't ruin it for me. Yeah, hit the like button on your way out. Maybe we can get to 200. I have no idea what we're at. But appreciate everyone stopping by today. I think I'm going to get out of here. Best of luck. If you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter, Discord, whatever it may be. But see you guys. I'll be back next week for Richmond, I guess.